first of all, big thanks to Eva and George. I call him George for inviting me, because it's a great pleasure for me to meet new people. I think there is a kind of, let's call it a caravan, which is given this grand name, the fourth way. But I think of it simply as a caravan. It comes to this place and goes to that place, and we tell each other stories. So I'm very grateful going to different places and also meeting people from different countries. Whatever the fourth way is, it must be about you. And for me, I see each person who really enters into this work does it in his or her own way. I just remember talking to Mr. Bennett about this, and I loved it when he said, in the work, everyone has their own style. If it's real for you, you do it your way. There isn't a program written in heaven about what you should be doing. It's dependent on people who can ask questions, who can search, who can experiment, just follow a routine. But often the general tendency is in groups for people to want to think together, think the same way as each other. I say a strong group is one in which the people do not think like each other. Then there is a purpose for them working together. I told a story to George about an experience I had with Mr. Bennett about this. We were, at the time, there were many, it was just a small group of I was once a young man. And we talk about ideas. We have conversations. It was written him teaching. We would have these conversations and exchange ideas and so on. One of these meetings, he said to me, Tony, we are no good for each other. Anyway, get that. And he explained, he said to me, you and I think the same way. And I did. I thought, just had the same kind of thinking as he had. So he said, I can't learn anything new from you, but this chap over here who doesn't think like me, I can learn something from him. So I say, when people disagree with you, welcome them. It's a hazardous way, it's an uncertain way. It's so dependent on the choices you make in particular circumstances. But you ask yourself now, how did you find your way here? Perhaps it looks all accidental. You meet somebody, you go into a bookshop and pick up a book. Even you might see something on television. But it's like there's a little angel and it just pushes you a little bit. I'm sure each one of you look into your history will, or maybe I shouldn't say this, but maybe you will see that it's very strange how it all happens. So if you feel uncertain what it means, what you are doing, I say to you, welcome into the club. You're beginning to get it. There is for me, an intrinsic demand in this way to be an individual. Yes. So it's unusual. And still many people say, I have the true Gurdjieff teaching. Follow me and you will become enlightened. I come across people like that, I run away. It's like in science, if you really do science and you have more questions than answers. That means you're in the way. What is the way? The way that's created now. And then I pick this up and put it down on the table, and I have some awareness of this. And this awareness reminds me of the Gurdjieff movements and many other things, including inner exercises and studies of the body It means you do a simple thing and you're in contact with all of that. This is why I like drinking tea. Pick up the cup. I say, wow. Don't you ever feel that? You're aware and you pick up the cup and go, this is extraordinary. This is fantastic. How do I do this? You don't know. There's an extraordinary strand in my understanding of the graduate work, which is only about facing the miracle of being in a body, which is extraordinary. Most people ignore this. Yeah, of course I've got a body. There's this little scene in one of Mr. Bennett's books, in his big book, The Dramatic Universe, he's talking about history and human evolution. He imagines the first hominid with conscious energy suddenly realizing, I'm alive. I read that and went, wow! Whenever you try to tell it to most people, they look at you as if you're... So this is the real beginning of it. And then you think, what am I doing here? You don't treat the body as a thing. This is you in the existing world, and it's very strange.